Many asking, who ate the chicken then? Well, Smriti Vidyarthi now talks to the ex-CEO of IEBC, James Oswago. Over to you.
Mark, thanks very much indeed. And yes, James Oswago does join me now in studio. Thanks for joining us on NTV tonight. My first question to you, Mr. Oswago, did you eat any chicken, even a piece? And of course, by that, what I mean is, were you in any way involved in corrupt dealings with the chickengate scandal?
I love chicken, but not this chicken. Not the gizzards, not the wings, not the legs. Nothing of this particular chicken. And that is the truth. And that truth will come apparent someday.
So you deny that you tasted any bit of the chicken, but the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, that's the EACC, says that they have sufficient evidence to prosecute you. In fact, they call it evidence of criminal culpability.
Evidence of criminal culpability, in my view, can only be sustained in a court of law. It is not for the accused person to prosecute himself. It is for the EACC to collect evidence which can be sustained in a court of law to a threshold of beyond reasonable doubt. That is the standard of proof in criminal cases. It is not a wishy-washy thing that you do in order to escape public or to shift public opinion. I went to the Anti-Corruption Commission, and in the process of being interviewed or interrogated, their methodology is that they present you with an email, for instance, and one part of the email is highlighted. Then it is projected on a wall, and you are asked, can you comment on that particular highlighted version? And from the beginning we said, and my lawyer was present, we said that is not the way to do it. Let me have the whole document. If it is a one-page document and you want me to comment on a paragraph, let me read the whole document. It is only then that I can give an intelligent answer within the holistic context of that document.
And you're saying you were not allowed to do that?
No. We said that should be done. If it is a three-page document and you want me to respond to something in page one, let me have all the 3 pages. I read it first. Once I've read it, you can ask me all manner of questions that you want to ask. And this thing was escalated beyond the person who was in the process of taking the statement. We went to a director and my lawyer, and it was agreed that my lawyer should reduce his reservations and recommendations in writing. And indeed, he did that. And this is the letter that my lawyer wrote, 3rd March 2016. Up to now, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has not given a reply to this answer.
May I have a look at that?
You can have a look at it.
So you have not had a response from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission?
I have not had a response to it. Our understanding was, because the process was stopped at the initial stages, my understanding was that they would now resolve that issue, call us, either to say, it is our procedure here, you will be shown these documents as we present them to you without giving you the benefit of reading them.
Right, okay. And just for our viewers, this is a letter. The subject is request for documents relating to the ongoing investigations on the alleged chickengate scandal and, of course, the client, James Oswago. All right, so you did not have that response, but there was an indictment from the Southwark Crown Court in the UK that said that, of course, members of Smith and Usman were charged with offences that related to you. Your name is here, and this is the indictment. It says that Christopher Smith, Nicholas Smith and others from Smith and Usman between October 1st, 2008 and December 2010 with Trevi, Oyombra and others corruptly agreed to make payments to officials employed at what was then called the Interim Independent Electoral Commission of Kenya as an inducement for reward for showing favour to Smith and Usman Limited in relation to the award of and payments for contracts to print materials for the IEBC, and your name here is listed as one of those officials that agreed to that sort of scam. This was from the Southwark Crown Court. What's your response to that?
You are reading that out of context.
Okay, what is
and
the
if you allow me, I'll explain to you.
Go ahead.
That charge in that court, there were several charges. One charge said agreeing to make payment, that in relation to the operations in Kenya. In relation to operations in Mauritania, the charge says arranging to make payments. There is a difference in law between agreeing to make payments and arranging to make payments. In Mauritania's case, and that was the main reason why Smith and Usman officials were convicted, was because there was a direct trail of money from Smith and Usman to the minister responsible for running elections in Mauritania, to a bank account which was run by his two daughters in France. A direct trail, a direct nexus, a direct connection. So the charge there was arranging to make payments.
Right,
agreeing to make payment, just a minute, agreeing to make payments means that whether payment is made or not, whether received or not, there are things there that we're talking about.
But this says corruptly agreed to make payments.
That was the charge. But if you read the entire conviction in that particular case, you will find the main reason why they were jailed, and it's important people in Kenya to get this distinction and get it right. The main reason why Smith and Usman officials were actually convicted was on the basis of the case or the charge that relates to operations in Mauritania. It is important to draw that distinction, and it is important to know that in law. And that charge is separate from what you have just read to me here.
All right, let me just invite our viewers to join in on this conversation. The hashtag on Twitter is Oswago Speaks, so do send in your comments or questions as well, and we'll sample them later on in this broadcast. The EACC has received a lot of its evidence from the UK's Serious Fraud Office, and in an affidavit there really is a lot of clear indication that there was a scam going on. There was a very, very sophisticated network of bribery that took place. Now, you deny being involved in any of this. Some of the names that have been mentioned have in fact been dropped and they've gotten away, but your name is still on the list to be prosecuted. Who then do you believe are the culprits if you're not one of them?
It is not for me to do an investigation for the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. It is not for me to explain why other people are guilty or not guilty.
But would that explanation not help your own case?
I'm talking about my own case. And I'm saying in my own case, the names that you're talking about were bandied around by the representative of Smith and Usman in Kenya. He said on the various occasions, I met so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. And he said because of these meetings, certain agreements were made. It is the Smith and Usman's representative in Kenya in confidential communication to his bosses in London saying the people he had met and the amounts of money that he wants them to be paid. All right? It is now up to Anti-Corruption Commission Kenya here to draw the necessary dots and the necessary to cross the T's and say, indeed, this one is true, indeed, this one is not true. The mere fact that the representative of Smith and Usman mentioned names may not necessarily mean that those people were actually involved in an untoward thing. For example, in my position as Chief Executive Officer, you would know the local representative or the individual who is supplying ballot papers for you. You would know him. He would not come to my office alone, but he would come accompanied by other people who are in the chain of procurement. So this is why when people say they don't know him, I'm surprised because I know him. They would come to my office accompanied by other people. But the mere fact that somebody mentions your name and says that, remember when this man was writing these documents, I don't think in his wildest estimation he knew this would get public. So it was confidential communication between him and his bosses. And he's saying, I met so-and-so, I met so-and-so, I met so-and-so.
I noticed you're not mentioning any names, but earlier you did say that you have been sacrificed as a scapegoat in this entire, chickengate scandal. So who then are the real culprits? Why will you not say?
My job is to say, when the anti-corruption wants to investigate me and take a statement from me, it is the law, it is the constitution that prescribes how an investigation is conducted. Criminal justice system does not start when you appear in court. It starts with the investigation. And I'm saying, Anti-Corruption Commission of Kenya, must conform with the statute, must conform with the Constitution. And the law requires that as you are being investigated, you are brought face to face with the charge against you, the evidence against you, and you comment on that. I'm saying in this case, in the process of doing so, the process was stopped. It was stopped on the basis of the letter that I've shown you, and the Anti-Corruption Commission has not responded to it. If they really want to know the truth, first they should respond to that, then avail to me the same documents that they want me to respond to. All right? It is only at the end of that process that you can know and say, this is what happened. There is no shortcut in investigations of this nature. You have to follow the law. And it is not discretion. It is not whether they like it or not.
So, all right, let me ask you then, are you aware of any bribery issues with regard to that election?
As relates to Smriti and Usman, or as relates to this particular chickengate?
All of it, throughout the chickengate scandal. Were there cases of bribery? Are you privy to them?
None that I know of.
There was no bribery that you knew of?
I'm talking to me as a person. None that I know of. It has been said that not only myself, many other people. You know, when they want to bribe you, they don't call an indaba, they don't call a great meeting and say, we want to bribe Oswago.
Right.
It is one-on-one. So it is natural that people should speak one-on-one. And I'm telling you, between me and the representative of Smriti and Usman, it will never be found in this country that there was a bribe. It has not been found, I know, and they will never find.
Were other people bribed that you're aware of?
I can't know. If they were bribed, it is for the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to say, well, this is the evidence. And
All
this
right.
is why we are asking, because of this nature of suspicion. I'm not fighting the Anti-Corruption Commission. I'm simply saying the law says that when you're investigating an issue like this one, this is the process to follow.
All right, so you have called for that process to be followed. Going forward, if you don't get what you want from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, then what?
The Kenyan judicial system is such that when you are aggrieved on any particular manner, it tells you there's a roadmap. And if you choose to, you can go up to the Supreme Court. If you choose to, you can go up to the highest level possible to make sure that justice is dispensed, to make sure that your grievance is resolved. And my grievance here is simply that I want this process to be conducted in the manner prescribed by law. I have just seen you there saying, showing that the process was completed. I've just shown you a letter which was written to them. Let them deny that they ever received this letter. Let them confirm that actually they reply to it. Right.
How soon will you act upon this?
How?
How soon will you act upon this if you don't get a response?
I'm discussing with my lawyer, and maybe I suspect that my lawyer is already initiating some process. I can't disclose now, but I think it is only proper that this process is initiated in order for this matter to be resolved.
All right. James Oswago, thank you very much for your time on NTV tonight.
Thank you.